Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. Their multi-platinum, successful debut album, probably one of the most successful debut albums I have ever heard in a hard rock band, period, bar none. It has some of their most memorable hits, such as Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, and Paradise City, of course, among other things, and of course Night Train. So, to get into it, this has the classic lineup of Axl Rose on vocals, Slash on lead guitars, Izzy Stradlin on rhythms, as well as the drummer, which is Steven Adler. So this and GN'R Lies are the only albums with Steven Adler on them, when Matt Sorum replaces him for Use Your Illusion albums. So, that being said, everything on here is just stellar, bluesy, hard, thrashy hard rock at its finest. This is just strictly a guitar-oriented album with a lot of bluesy solos and hooks in it. And what I said in my Versus video about Kirk Hammett, you know how his solos just kind of go along with the rhythm, that's exactly it here, especially with the solo in Out to Get Me in the beginning. And it's just, the solo just flows so nicely with the song. It's just, it fits perfectly. So you got your really, really hard songs, your beginning songs, you're talking about, you know, drugs, sex, rock and roll, booze, you know, They're Out to Get Me, Mr. Brownstone, and just all that stuff, Paradise City. And then the next half is just talking about, like, relationships, love, and of course, you know, Sweet Child of Mine, You're Crazy, you know, just relationships in general. So you got your themes there. It's divided out pretty nicely, especially with the old tapes with them. They used to have side A and side B, but they would actually name it side G and side R. So it would be GN'R. Get it? You know. So side G would include all of like the guns, set, you know, drugs, rock and roll, sex, booze, that's that sort of thing. And then side R would include all of your relationship songs, such as Sweet Child of Mine, My Michelle, Think About You, some of those ones. So every single song on here, to me, is just a perfect example of what Guns N' Roses should have been throughout their entire career. It's a real shame that this is really their only consistent album. Everything after this that was released is just kind of a mess. I mean, I like everything that Guns N' Roses has put out, aside from the Spaghetti Incident and Chinese Democracy. However, what really lacks in the Use Your Illusion albums is consistency, a base, something to base your music off of, something to just, you know, I'm not saying formulaic, I'm just saying at least keep with a consistent genre. You know, you want to be progressive, but don't release stuff that should have been released on Appetite on a progressive rock album. So, that being said, this album is consistent. It's just, it flows very nicely. Like I said before, guitar-oriented completely. Got some nice grooves in there, got some really great melodies, got some really memorable lyrics as well as solos by Slash, and it's got that really great Gibson Les Paul tone to it from Slash, of course. So, you know, slash this, slash that. That's usually how Guns N' Roses are known for, is Slash in the top hat and Axl Rose with his bandana, and, you know, his really high, shrill yet gravelly vocals. Like, his voice on this album is just perfect. So everything just fits the song perfectly. That's really all I can say. Some people think that this album is overrated. However, I feel that this album it just gets too much flack for having two of their most well-known songs on it. You know, Welcome to the Jungle and Sweet Child of Mine. And to a lesser extent, Paradise City as a third one. So, you know, I don't think it's overrated. I just think it has some overrated material on it. So, you know, go figure. Anyways, getting into the track by track, Welcome to the Jungle begins with that riff that everyone knows and loves, has a, you know, that Guns N' Roses style beat to it, as well as the guitar tone is very fleshed out, as well as, you know, on all the other albums, because they use the same guitar tone on every album bar Chinese Democracy. So, it's got that really nice tone to it, really good vocals, and just a nice structure overall. It's very guitar-oriented, as I said, very good. So, It's So Easy begins with a nice little rhythm guitar / bass line, and Axl sings very low for this song, so it's a nice change up. It definitely tells that Axl has some variation with how he sings. So, some of my favorite parts. And Night Train, this is probably one of my favorites, if not, no, actually, no, it's not my favorite song. It's very close second. That goes to Estranged off of Use Your Illusion 2, I believe. So, Night Train. It's actually about an alcohol called Night Train. You know, I'm on the night train and I'm looking for some. I'm on the night train. Yeah, one for you, two for me, but tonight, yeah. It's actually an advertisement for Night Train alcohol back in the day, basically. So if you didn't know that, I just read up on it. So yeah, it's kind of cool though. The lyrics are very cool, and Axel hits some crazy high notes, but he also sings very, very low as well, like in "It's So Easy," and he's got a very gravelly tone to it during the verses, especially in the beginning. So it just fits the song perfectly, and it shows, as I said, the variation. So the solos are really good, and it just sounds very fleshed out in general, the structure, as well as the rhythm section. So next one is Out to Get Me, TA, Out to Get Me. And this is the hardest, thrashiest song on there. I wouldn't necessarily say thrashy, but it's got this really hardcore guitar tone, and just the solos, the rhythm, it just fleshes together really nicely, very appealing, and the structure of the song is very well crafted. The tones, the drums, the vocals and everything is just really good in this, and very varied, I guess, is really all I can say about it. So really good song, really one of my favorites. Mr. Brownstone, this is more one of the bluesier songs on here on the album. Not really like an all-out like rocker, much like Night Train, Out to Get Me, and everything prior to this. This one's a little bit more laid back and focuses more on the drums, and a little bit of the rhythm aspects. So it's not too hard or too heavy, but it's really good. It's really fleshed out, and it's really based off of, like I said, the drums. So yeah, really good song. Really like the vocals as well. So yeah, next one is Paradise City, and of course everyone knows this for the lyrics. Take me down to the Paradise City, for the grass is green and the girls are pretty. Won't you please take me home? And of course the jam session by Slash at the end. Although he claims that it's not a jam session, I can't really believe him, because I mean that's just, how do you do that? I mean, how do you write like that? Maybe it wasn't a jam session, but it certainly sounds like one. He just goes crazy at the end with those guitars. Axl Rose's voice is just really spot on with the high pitch, with the falsetto vocals, and it just sounds really good. So, My Michelle, this one is where the relationship side starts, and if not on Paradise City, but I digress. So, relationships, My Michelle, this is about like an addicted, really unhealthy relationship with someone. My Michelle, of course. So, someone who's just broken down, and it just has a really nice aura to it, a really nice atmosphere. And especially in the beginning, the guitars are just very atmospheric, and the drums and everything are just where it needs to be. So really highly recommend this song. It's a really good one. Next one, Think About You. This one's really fast. Axl Rose's vocals are a little bit gravelly in the beginning, got that nice touch to them, and he goes up really, really high pitch, and of course, you can't have a Guns N' Roses song without a few Slash solos in there, so he throws those in just for good measure. They go along pretty well with it. It's a pretty straightforward song, and it goes straight into Sweet Child of Mine. Do I really need to say anything about this song? I don't think so. It's amazing. So, nice little rhythm section in the beginning, and of course the guitar tone that Guns N' Roses is practically known for, the Les Paul in the rhythm section. That guitar melody that everyone knows, that verse, that beginning intro. So, very good song. Axl Rose sings at pretty much the same tone throughout the entire thing, so it's not as varied as, say, It's So Easy and Night Train, but it still accomplishes what it needs to. So, you don't have to be varied on every single song. No. You're Crazy, this is a little weird, because I heard the GN'R Lies version, the acoustic version, before I heard this one. And then I saw this news clip that said that this is basically what it was meant to be like, the acoustic version. And I listened to both of them, and he changed the lyrics in the Appetite version to be, basically censored. So, he says, I knew a motherfucker like you in the GN'R Lies version, but in the Appetite version, he says, I knew someone like you. And he sings a lot higher. And then in the GN'R Lies version, he just sings like this and a little bit more gravelly, I like the atmosphere more in the GN'R Lies version. I mean, I like both of them, but GN'R Lies definitely takes the cake for me, so this is a little bit of a weak point for the album. So, but then again, it has the displeasure of coming right after Sweet Child of Mine, so that might be another thing if you're listening to these songs in order. Anything Goes, this one's a little bit more sporadic, and It's just like the beginning is just out of place, and the structure is a little bit out there. I mean, it gets really slow, but then it speeds up for the chorus, and then it's, you know, straightforward, and then just kind of slows down again. It's all over the place. It's a good song, but it's just really all over the place. Not really one of my favorites on the album. Rocket Queen, though, that is a beast of a song. I love this song. It's one of the first songs I heard by GNR, and definitely a great way to close off the album. Great structure, great ending solo. It just speeds up at the end. Nice use of effects, especially in the verses as well as the chorus. So, great song. Love the album. Love everything on here, pretty much. I'm gonna give it probably a 9.5 out of 9.5 out of 10. So, 9.5 out of 10. Thank you very much for watching. This is Midnight Strike 3625. Keep calm and rock on.